Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you recognize this background, it means we have a book related video. It's a book called Barnes & Noble. I mentioned it in my previous video that Barnes & Noble's is having a 50% off select hardcover book sale until September 4th. So I went like last week or the week before. So I've had these books for a while. and I've been waiting to film a video relating to them. And also, this doesn't have anything to do with this video, but Hobby Lobby is having a 50% off Christmas item sale. I don't know when that's supposed to end, but I actually just came back from Hobby Lobby. I got a tree, lights, ornaments, all that jazz. So I can get it now and get it out the way. And when Christmas is here, I'll be ready. So if you're excited for Christmas, go to Hobby Lobby. They have a sale right now. And then before we get into the real haul, these books, I joined a book club at my job. They have a faculty and staff book club right up my alley. So these are the 4 books we're reading. We're reading, it's called Finna. We're reading this one the month of September. And I think The Troop, we're reading for October. A Deadly Education might be December, and then The Night Tiger is January, or vice versa. But yeah, so I am very excited for the book club. But I had to show those books too because, yes. And you didn't have to get physical copies. I personally just wanted physical copies. It was only $5 for each. But you could also like rent from the library. But it's me we're talking about. I want the copy for myself. Now we're going to move on to the Barnes & Nobles. I got 3 hardcovers and then 3 paperbacks. And I'm also a Barnes & Nobles member, so I also got 10% off the already sale. Okay, so this has the hardbacks. So we're gonna do this one first. This little bag, and I have the receipt somewhere before we start. There we go. I'm gonna get the receipt out so I can say the regular price and then the discounted price. So first up, I have She Is Haunting. Now I'm gonna try not to butcher the name. Trang. I'll just say her first name, Trang, because I don't want to butcher her name. But it was on the 50% off select hardcovers shelving, and I've seen it before, but I've never really read into it. And I read it while I was in Barnes & Noble's, and I thought it was pretty cool. But also, which this is also pretty neat, the end pages. It's always nice when you have cool end pages. That looks good as well. And this is going to be my first time reading this author as well. So, to get into it. This house eats and is eaten. When Jade Nguyen arrives in Vietnam to visit her estranged father, she has one goal: survive 5 weeks pretending to be a happy family in the French colonial house Ba is restoring. She's always lied to fit in, so if she's straight enough, Vietnamese enough, American enough, she can get out with the college money he promised. But the house has other plans. Night after night, Jade awakes paralyzed. The walls exude a thrumming sound while bugs leave their legs and feelers in place they don't belong. She finds curious traces of her ancestors in the gardens they once tended. And at night, Jade can't ignore the ghost of the beautiful bride who leaves the cryptic warning, "Don't eat." Neither Ba nor her sweet sister Lily believe anything strange is happening. With help from a delinquent girl, Jade tries to expose the house's rotten appetite. A home, after all, is only as powerful as those who breathe new life into its bones. And this one is determined never to be abandoned again. So it's more of like a suspense, mystery, thriller vibe, which is good because I've been meaning to break up from all the romance. So I'm excited to read this one. It seems pretty good. I love a good mystery in itself. So it'll be interesting to see what's actually going on with this house. They're talking about this delinquent girl, so that's going to be a thing. She didn't come there alone. She came with her sister. And I'm wondering how her father has become estranged. Like, where's her mother? Yeah, we'll see. But I'm excited to read that one. It has, hold up. Okay, that looks like extra. It does, it has exclusive content. Okay, so it has 341 pages, but there's also exclusive content in here. Right here. This whole little end is exclusive. So that's always nice getting a surprise. But yeah, and the price on this, the original price is $18.99, and then I got it for $9.49. Okay, so as I'm looking at this receipt, for all of my hardcovers, I only got the 50% off, and for the paperbacks, I got 10% off because I'm a member. All right. Now moving on to the next one. I'm very excited for this one. This is The Black Queen. It's by Jumata Emill. Hopefully I said that right. I recently saw this on TikTok for like black girl thrillers. And one of my favorite thrillers, which is probably like the only for real thriller I've read, is The Weight of the Blood by Tiffany. Why am I blanking? The Weight of the Blood by Tiffany Jackson. Oh, also, oh my God, he's from Louisiana. I just happened to look at that. Jumata is also a male, which I haven't read that many books by male authors. I've read a few, but not many. That's so cool. Journalists. All right, that's cool. That makes it better. That's so awesome. But moving on, yeah, I saw this on a TikTok about black girl thrillers that were coming out, and yeah, I saw this on here and I was like, immediately I need to have it. It has kind of a similar tone to The Weight of the Blood, only because they're both surrounding like homecoming and prom. There's a lot of blood involved, so we'll see. As I mentioned, still getting in that like thriller genre, but nonetheless, I'm excited. Nova Albright, the first black homecoming queen at Leavitt High, is dead. Murdered the night of her coronation. Her body found the next morning in the old slave cemetery she spent her weekends revitalizing. Tinsley MacArthur was supposed to be queen. Not only is she beautiful, wealthy, and white, it's her legacy. Her grandmother, her mother, and even her sister wore the crown before her. Everyone in Leavitt knows Tinsley would do anything to carry on the MacArthur tradition. No one is more certain of that than Duchess Simmons, Nova's best friend. Duchess's father is the first black police captain in Leavitt. For Duchess, Nova's crown was not just a personal win, but a win for all the black kids. Now her best friend is dead, and her father won't admit that the main suspect is right in front of his face. Duchess is convinced that Tinsley killed Nova, and that Tinsley is privileged enough to think she can get away with it. But it seems that Duchess's father is doing what he does, falling behind the blue line, which means that the white girl could go free. Duchess is determined to prove Tinsley's guilt. Only to do that, she'll have to get close to her, but Tinsley has an agenda too. Everyone loved Nova, and sometimes love is exactly what gets you killed. So they keep mentioning Tinsley as the girl, which she does have motive, but what if it's not her? I think that would be, I don't know if it would be obvious for it to be her, or like, because who else is coming into play, because we're not introducing any other people. But I don't know, what if it's Duchess and she's trying to throw us off her game. But also, Nova could have had a secret life that no one knew about. Yeah, so I don't know, this seems to be so interesting. I love a good mystery. So this has 392 pages, almost 400. She's almost kind of thick, but I'm very excited for this one. And I've read a handful, like recently I read one mystery suspense thriller by Kara Thomas, who she kind of only writes in that genre, and I've read a few of her books that are pretty good. So yeah, we'll see. Very exciting. The original price was $18.99 and I got it for $9.49. Also, just take a moment for the cover. Look at her makeup. Love that. Okay, now we're moving on to the last hardcover. Okay, the Agathas. And this is by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. I have never heard of this book before. I saw it on the shelf. I read the back. I was like, okay, this is another kind of like mystery suspense. And I thought to give it a shot because why not? So we're gonna do just that and see what it's about. Hopefully I like it, but it sounded interesting. Welcome to Castle Cove, a town cursed with missing girls, bad boyfriends, family secrets, and some very steep cliffs. Last summer, Alice Ogilvy's basketball star boyfriend Steve dumped her. Then she disappeared for 5 days. She's not talking, so where she went and what happened to her is the biggest mystery in Castle Cove, or it was, at least, because now another one of Steve's girlfriends has vanished, Brooke Donovan, Alice's ex-best friend. And it doesn't look like Brooke will be coming back. Enter Iris Adams, Alice's tutor. Iris has her own reasons for wanting to disappear, though unlike Alice, she doesn't have enough money or the means. That could be changed by the hefty reward Brooke's grandmother is offering to anyone who can share information about her granddaughter's whereabouts. The police are convinced Steve is the culprit, but Alice isn't so sure. And with Iris on her side, she just might be able to prove her theory. In order to get the reward and prove Steve's innocence, they need to figure out who killed Brooke Donovan, and luckily, Alice has exactly what they need. The complete works of Agatha Christie. If there's anyone who can teach the girls how to solve a mystery, it's the master herself. But the town of Castle Cove holds many secrets, and Alice and Iris have no idea how much danger they're about to walk into. Again, another mystery. This is also a series because when I looked this up to find out more about it, it's the start of a series, and I'm pretty sure it's only 2 books in the series, and I can't remember if it's like just an interconnected series or straight series, but it's exciting. And with this one, what they're saying, it really sounds like the boyfriend didn't do it, so then it becomes who did kill it, but also Alice hasn't really told her story, so it'll be interesting to hear what happened to her and if the same events actually happened to her ex-best friend Brooke. And then this Irish chick has her own MO, so I don't know, a little sketchy, but I like some sketchy. Another one that's $8.99, so this one was also $9.49. Oh, I didn't say the pages. Hold on. Let me get the page numbers. This one has 405 pages. Now we're moving on to all of the paperbacks. I went in Barnes & Nobles for the 50% off book sale, but I also went in for King of Pride by Anna Huang. I love me some Anna. I finished the entire Twisted series. Great. So this is the King of Sin series, which I finished the first one not too long ago. And there's actually going to be 7 books in the series because they're all about the 7 deadly sins. Which this one is Pride, the first one was Wrath, and the next one is Greed, which has already come out. But I'm getting all of them in the Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition so I can have a matching set. So I don't remember if the exclusive edition comes out in October. It might for the next book. So I'm waiting for that, and it's going to be great because I devoured the first one. I'm looking forward to this one. And when the exclusive editions are actually released, they're not re-released. So it's only a one and done. So if you miss them coming out, you don't get them. So I actually went on Barnes & Noble's the day this one was released so I can get it and add it to the collection. Yeah, because I was looking forward to it. And I want a complete collection that actually matches through and through. And also these come with exclusive content. So that's always a plus. It's worth the wait, in my opinion. She's his opposite in every way, and the greatest temptation he's ever known. Reserved, control, and proper default, Kai Young has neither the time nor the inclination for chaos. And Isabel, with her purple hair and inappropriate jokes, is chaos personified. With a crucial CEO vote looming and a media empire at stake, the billionaire heir can't afford the distraction she brings. Isabella is everything he shouldn't want. But with every look and every touch, he's tempted to break all his rules and claim her as his own. Bold, impulsive, and full of life, Isabella Valencia has never met a party she doesn't like or a man she couldn't charm except for Kai Young. It shouldn't matter. He's not her type. The man translates classics into Latin for fun, and his membership at the exclusive club where she bartends means he's strictly off limits. But she can't deny that beneath his cool exterior is a man who can make her melt with just a touch. No matter how hard they try, they can't resist giving into their forbidden desires, even if it costs them everything. Like I said, I love Miss Anna Huang. It's always going to be a banger. And the first book was really good, so I'm hoping it's only up from here. Yeah, book 2. There's nothing more to say. I'm in the romance era once again, because how could I not be? This book has 389 pages. That's wonderful, because I feel like romance books do have their limits. So here you can see all of her books. So King of Greed is out, but the exclusive edition isn't out. This is the Twisted series. I've read all of them, and this is the If Love series, which came out before, but Twisted got hyped up. So eventually I'll read this one, but yeah. And the original price for this one was $17.99, and I got it for $16.19. So I'm very much looking forward to this. And all of her series are interconnected series. I would say you read them in order, because it just makes sense because they're interconnected, and it might ruin something for a previous book if you haven't read it. Moving on to the next one, Cruel Seduction by Katie Robert. This is the most recent one in the Dark Olympus series. I have the rest of the books. This is the first one. Neon Gods and Radiant Sin was like maybe book 4. And this one just so happened to be an exclusive edition, which I don't really go in Barnes & Noble's for this one. Again, I went for King of Pride, but I saw this one and I haven't read this one, and it's the latest one in the series, so I grabbed it. And it was meant for me because it was exclusive, and it was actually the only one left. So I picked that one up. I've been meaning to read this one. The Dark Olympus series is also an interconnected series that you have to read in order because all of the paths cross, and like the story kind of moves forward from where it starts. So you have to read these in order. And I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be the last one in the series. I could be wrong. I think it's supposed to be 7 in the series. Yeah. He was my enemy, my lover, my husband, and the one man I swore by all Olympus I would destroy. Aphrodite has never flinched at getting her perfectly manicured hands dirty, and she's not about to start now, even if that means marrying Olympus's #1 enemy, the new Hephaestus. She has a wicked plan to keep her deadly new husband off balance, seducing the one person he seems to care the most about in the world, Pandora, a woman as beautiful as she is sweet. Two can play the seduction game, however, and Hephaestus is all too happy to put his new wife in her place. Her ex Adonis seems like he'll do the trick. It doesn't hurt that he's gorgeous and all the way of fallen angels either. The only problem with using seduction as a weapon, hearts are all too quick to get involved. With Hephaestus and Aphrodite trading venomous strikes that feel a whole lot like foreplay, lines become blurred and emotions entangled, but a broken heart may be the least of their worries. With unrest in Olympus reaching new heights, these Bedouin games may have deadly consequences for themselves, their city, and everyone they've come to love. A scorching hot retelling of Aphrodite and Hephaestus and Pandora and Adonis. So obviously our main people are Aphrodite and Hephaestus, but it seems like Pandora and Adonis are also going to get together. All of these in the series are modern retellings of like the traditional Greek stories. So the first one was Hades and Persephone's, and then it just moves forward from there. But it seems a whole lot like it could possibly be a love square because they're involving other people, and obviously you're using seduction to get to the other person, but then you might eventually get feelings for the person you're using to get back at the other person. So it's giving potential love square happening. It's always like a whole lot going on in this book, but I don't know. I really enjoy the series. Oh, I was right. Radiant Sin was the fourth one, so here are all the books in that series. And then she has another series, Court of the Vampire Queen, which I've shown that one on my channel before. I think I've read it. It's actually 3 books, but you can get Court of the Vampire Queen, and it has all 3 books combined into one. Yeah, so the original price for this one was $16.99. and I got it for $15.29. Also, I didn't say page numbers. This book has 383 pages, so not that much. But I am excited to continue through the series because there was some shady stuff happening in the last book that wasn't resolved. And Aphrodite, from meeting her at the beginning of the series, she has her problems. So we'll see if she has some character growth. Now we're moving on to the last book in my home. Yes. Twisted by Emily McIntire. So this is part of the Never After series. I have read all of these books. This isn't the latest book. This is the 4th book, and the latest book is Crossed. So here are book 1, 2, and 3. So after this one, I'll get Crossed so I can have the latest one. I'm also thinking this series is going to continue to possibly 7 as well, but they're all dark retellings that have sort of Disney characters, but for the most part, like, it's kind of the names that are the same and maybe like locations, but that's it. The first one was Hook, so it involved Captain Hook, Wendy, Peter, Tinkerbell, but in a different sense. The second one was Scarred, which was like the Lion King vibe, but they didn't use any of the names, just kind of the fact that the person playing Scar, which was Tristan, had a scar on his face. He had a feud with his brother, that type of thing, and it was like kingdom and royalty related. And then Wretched was Alice in Wonderland, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. That one always threw me off. I think it was Alice in Wonderland. This one is Aladdin. So it's Jasmine, Aladdin, and Jafar. And then Crossed is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay, now we can get into it. She's his diamond in the rough. He's her worst nightmare. Yasmin Karam, daughter to one of the richest men in the world, has never known strife. So when her beloved father falls ill, she's determined to make his final days his happiest, his last wish, to see her married to a man of his choosing, except Yasmin's heart already belongs to someone else, a servant, a man her father would never consider worthy. Struck between a rock and a hard place, Yasmin strikes a desperate deal with her father's right-hand man, Julian, not realizing he has his own twisted agenda. Julian Farsi has one goal: become the most powerful man in the world. He's built a future from broken bones and faded bruises, never caring who he hurt along the way. But when his mentor falls ill, he finds himself on the verge of losing everything, and he'll stop at nothing to inherit what is rightfully his, even if it means forcing a woman he couldn't stand into a marriage. Yasmin is a brat who speaks out of turn, and he's the villain of her story, but he decides she'll be his, no matter what it takes to convince her. So this one is enemies to lovers. It also has an age gap. From what I remember when this book came out, people were saying there is an age gap involved, but if you didn't know, Yasmin is Jasmine, the servant is Aladdin, and then Julian is Jafar in this scenario. And all of the books in the in the Never After series are happily ever afters, but they also have dark tones, and Emily puts trigger warnings. She puts playlist in her book, which I like as well, but I feel like I'm tripping. Oh, maybe this one doesn't have anything in it. So she usually puts trigger warnings in the front of her books if they deal with anything, but this doesn't have a trigger warning, so there's no heavy topics. Usually it's at the front of the book. She also has playlists in her book, which I like. You can kind of do with that what you will. This one has 384 pages. And the original price for this one was $17.99, and I got it for $16.19. And another thing about the Never After series is it's not an interconnected series because they don't necessarily cross over, and you can read them in any particular order. I just read them in the order they come out because I don't know, I'm just wired that way that I need to do it that way. But you don't have to read like previous books to read the next book. It's fine in that sense. So those are all of my books for this haul, and I'm very, very excited. And the Barnes & Nobles that I went to, they didn't have that wide of a selection for the 50% off select hardcovers. I am happy with the ones that I got, but the selection wasn't as wide. They had more options online, but I wasn't trying to push it, and I didn't spend much at Barnes & Nobles, which is always great. I told my friend Hannah about it. Shout out to you, Hannah, because she went and spent money as well. It makes me feel good when I talk my friends into spending money as well. So I'm not doing it alone. But yeah, a great haul. Excited to do some reading, especially doing the book club at my job. Some more books. That's always great. I'm going to show the books one more time, and then that'll be it. So Twisted by Emily McIntire. Cruel Seduction by Katie Robert. King of Pride by Anna Huang. The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. The Black Queen by Jumata Emill. And then She Is Hunting by She Is Haunting by Trang. Those are all of the books. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully you go to Barnes & Nobles and spend some money before the sale is over, because there's like 2 more days left. So go get some books. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down below. Peace and blessings, my loves.